All right,
I'd like to make a motion to exit the executive committee.
I got a motion by Bison and a second
Second.
by Barry to exit executive session. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, moving on to item 10 is discuss granting the compact site supervisor the authority to hire and fire. You want to touch on this or?
I can, I kind of touched with Mr. Berry about it
Okay.
already, is with the road superintendent having to take care of everything he does, and Barry's right there looking at these compactor workers every day. He's a lot more familiar with what's going on out there, who's working, what days they're working. We're seeing errors come in on timesheets where people have said that they worked on days they were off. And Barry will be able to control the hiring and the firing and the timesheets and everything with a lot easier because he knows what's going on.
In your spare time.
Yeah, in your spare time. Join the club. In your spare time.
Actually, the way we're doing it now, and Bobby's always been there. If I got a problem and I want to carry somebody with me, he goes with me.
Mhm.
I basically find, or they referred to me, I decide and I walk in and I sit down with him in a minute, whether it be in the evening, in the morning, whenever, and discuss it with him. If he's got any pros or cons, because, every once in a while I might make a bad decision. If I've got questions, part of the problem has been the limitation working around the retirement system deal. So I always call Miss Sharon, try to have my problem worked out, give her a solution before. And that's the way it's been running. And I kind of like it. I go in and I come tell Miss Sharon, hey, I got such and such. Can we make this fit? So I don't have a problem, but on a given day, Wednesday, I don't have anybody working.
Mhm.
Thursday through Tuesday, I got 20 people on any day. So, there is no weekend because they call. 5 minutes to 2, I can't make it. But I've about broken from the habit of that. I'm trying to put no more on him than need to be, but I feel like sometimes I need to discuss something.
Well, I guess me personally, when I reviewed this, and I don't even remember we were looking at different deals. My thought was, and that's fine if you still want to continue to take Bobby with you. It's a good idea to have somebody there.
On occasion, on
Yeah.
2 occasions,
But
and both proved possible trouble.
what caught my attention, Barry, was the part where, and Mr. Deal can clarify this. Whenever, say, you do a termination or you do a timesheet, were they signing off on it? Were they signing off something that they don't know? But you know. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, I mean, as far as Bobby going with you, that's fine. I don't see no deal. But to me, for our books, the road superintendent shouldn't be the one terminating a guy from a solid waste compactor station when you're the supervisor. You should be the
I
one
understand
to
that
sign
part of
off.
it. As long as it doesn't.
And that's kinda-
physically-
That's something there that to me on paper and
I don't know.
under our operations that fit.
And you're out there seeing if they're doing the right job or if they're getting along with their customers, and you know that better than anybody. You know that better than Bobby because you're out there more than anybody else.
And I didn't mean on a daily basis, no. But normally if I go to hire, I'll walk in and tell him, hey, I got this one, we'll discuss it. And if he doesn't have a question about it, and at that point, I've already talked to Sharon, so, but I don't mind signing off the paperwork because you're right, I know.
And then one other issue that I had, and I'm just speaking for my district, is my road foreman is either on the road, looking at jobs, grading, doing trucks. And so whenever those guys sign their time sheets, and I may be wrong, but we have foremen that are saying, okay, they done this.
Mhm.
But that foreman don't know because he's been working the whole, he might not even been by the landfill. I mean, by the compactor. So to me, he should be part of that process. You know, every department should have, you know, its own.
Accountability.
Well, you came on and did us a good job,
did.
and then we're gonna give you more work.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
just
this
need
right.
amounts
more
to.
work.
Just so I'm clear on what we're doing here. Barry is now gonna sign on the landfill sites. He's gonna sign off on the
Time sheet.
time sheets.
Mhm.
So he's gonna review them, he's gonna sign off on them.
Yeah,
They're not gonna go to
the
the road office.
compactor
and-
sites.
Yeah, the compactor sites,
Right.
not the landfill. But
They'll come
Compactor.
here instead of going through out there.
right, so they don't go through the road shop anymore. They will come from him straight to ship. Is that what
Right.
we're trying to
That's what we're
accomplish here?
trying to do.
But in saying that, we still want to continue to let that office help you with the logging of those boxes and everything. That process won't be fooled with because you got, you know,
In the collection, they'll still go to the road office and be separated to.
yes, that's it. All that's good.
Really, I think the beauty of this is if you got somebody that gets smart with you, you can straighten it out right then.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, we got.
I hadn't seen none of them
I
out
don't
there
like the
that
way
could
this is
review.
worded, I guess, on our thing here, because the authority to hire and fire, you can't just hire people. That has to come through either personnel or go through Bill and make sure we're hiring people when we're going on. So I just don't like the way it's listed
really,
on
not
here.
really.
Not
As
not
the-
out there.
Not out there.
We give them the
Authority to
do
hire
it.
and fire as they choose.
Bobby also has that authority to hire and fire as
And that's what we're doing here, is just trying to,
Subject to what? Because Bobby wanted to hire two people at our last meeting, he couldn't do it because it wasn't approved, so that's not
because
true.
probably he was
Say-
wanting to create a position.
So there's so many positions, all right, because Barry's got 20 guys,
He's got
as long as he keeps his 20 people,
keep
and he
that
doesn't
deal.
extend over that.
That's right.
In which case, if he wants more help, he's gotta come to the
Here.
person.
He wants that, got it.
It's basically what I just said. If Barry's got a problem with an employee, it's gonna be his call
Right,
as to replacing that employee.
Because he's out there looking at it.
right,
You know,
Right.
we don't know. I'm
He's
not
dealing
going out
with
there and
those,
chase them every day.
right. I'm just-
And then, and like I
I'm trying
said,
to
most
make
of the time when it comes to this board here, because you're creating a position or you might be doing a temporary guy to fill in, and those people like that have to be approved.
sure.
Say if you have one out with a broke leg,
Right,
somebody gonna come in and fill in for him, that has to be approved by this board. So, but on the daily operations, he has.
he has the authority to
Yeah.
do that. So we're taking this, Bobby's no longer responsible for that, we're gonna let Barry be responsible.
And to me, it only fits because that's Barry's department.
Right. Yeah. I'm not opposed to it, I think that's.
Okay, any other discussion on this? Bison, we good? Okay.
Basically, I'll be approving
Basically, you approve it. We
time
want,
sheets.
we want your signature.
Make a motion. Do we need to bring this to a motion to grant him that authority?
Yes.
I make a motion that we grant,
What we recommend.
We were making.
that we recommend give Barry this authority to do the hiring and firing at the land site, at the landfill
I got a
site.
motion by Bison, second by Ramirez. All in favor? All opposed? All right, motion carried. We'll make this all these are recommendations.
Yeah, it's gotta go to the full
Yes,
board.
yes.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to item 11, to discuss hiring an assistant for the compact sites supervisor. In this, Mr. Barry, we know you have a lot of knowledge that you could be sharing with someone, but when you get ready to go home and smell them roses, we'll have somebody in place, kind of trained, because we know that your knowledge, you save a lot of time, a lot of money, and you know, our whole thought process was to be training someone for the future on this
I
deal.
understand
And
that.
we appreciate what
Oh,
you
yeah,
do. I
definitely.
hope you know that.
On a daily basis, I don't need someone every day.
Right.
Now, what I've been doing, and you might, I take the crew, like last Wednesday, a week ago, yesterday, put in that new compactor fluorine and making plans of waiting on Grady Hill for this upcoming Wednesday. Hopefully it'll work out. And when I know I'm going to need help like that, I usually use Robert because Robert's been around and he's always got 2 to 3 guys. Probably upcoming, and we'll discuss that later, the cleanup, pressure washing, and it takes a good bit of time greasing the bins. We ain't been real successful changing alamites because they can't tell you what to use. You buy a bag full and hunt one. But we try to keep the wheels rolling, you know, they're greasable. That takes time. If I go to troubleshoot one, you know, most of the time you can get them going within an hour, 2 hours. I've got one now, it's a problem. Car gets running. In the past, I used Cramelot, E-barb water, a couple of hours. And our new installations, we bring in an outside contractor electrician to do the final connect because if there's a problem, and we, out of probably 4 or 5, we had one. They wanted to argue. It's a bad pump. And he told me, he said, look, I watched the man find the pin. It's sure on your end. I'm a licensed electrician. Everything's fine. They sent me a new pump. So that's probably worth it, but on a daily basis. Now, if I was sitting here this morning telling you fellas I'm going home in 6 months or a year, I'm all for it. But on a daily basis, unless you just want to put somebody with me to ride a lot.
Well, I think,
Well-
I think the whole process is, you know, we're thinking this right now. So somewhere down the line in a month or two, if you come across someone, you know, and they don't have to necessarily be full time.
No, they don't.
They could be a part-time employee and they can, you know, they may go ride with you 2 or 3 days a week and you just kind of show them what's going on is to pass that knowledge on.
And right now, just like you said, you get that crew to go help you set that compactor. What if you're sick tomorrow and you can't go help them set it? Then who goes?
Well, probably my backup. Robert's a good hand.
Well,
Most things, once I line up, I have him double check. We got our own little way of that triangle you spot out in front of that compactor determines whether you can back the truck up. It'll match up to that compactor or not. I've seen them try to do it with a string and all that. Just like a carpenter, I put me a board in front of it. I know how far I got to be out. I cut me a block and put a spacer in front of it, and then I find the center, cut the baby doll and put it in place, and have waste management bring me a bin and put in it right then. We know we're through. So we've got our, and Robert's been a part of all that.
So-
yeah.
so you're trying to say you would maybe like to move Robert in there and give
No,
somebody his job?
Robert's probably 7, 8 years away from retirement.
Yeah.
Handles the crew excellent. That might be a point though, days when we use them for that, steam cleaning, that instead of charging that to the road department or whatever, you might want to put some of that over on solid waste. I don't use them unless I need them. But there's times, and that's usually who I go to. Now we got a man in your area now. he probably gonna be pretty good. But he don't have Robert's, expertise
No, he
at this
had, yeah.
point. But
Well, and something else that we need is the way that you have corrected all this wasteful pulling of bins and all that. Somebody needs to be trained to watch for that, because as long as we have an outside hauler, they're gonna try to steal. We just know that. That's a fact.
or they got one last month. I didn't, when it comes through, if you do the billing, if it don't, I didn't give him a PO. I told him, no, you don't take my man said he didn't tell him. Their driver says he did. So who's right or wrong? But I didn't give him a number.
If they didn't have a number, then they don't have it.
Well, and that's part of the process. We've been through that. You've got to have that.
That's why we want you to train somebody in depth. I mean, maybe you don't think we need to start next month or the next. That can be your decision.
Right.
Or you could be looking for someone that you think would do
I
it your way.
already have had two possibilities, but one of them's still doing a little time, and I'm not sure that.
Well, I guess this is just to start that conversation, Barry. It's not that it's gotta happen next month or 6 months, but we wanna, start the conversation. And in the meanwhile, you could be kind of looking, if you come across someone that you think,
Yeah, don't let
like I
it
say,
go.
he don't have to be a full-time employee. He might be one of these guys that work offshore or off and his days in, just kind of, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I don't either.
Mm-mm.
So
But that's your call.
that's your call. That's just kind of way my thinking process was, Barry, that's kind of the way you see it, or you got any other ideas?
Well, this problem's going through all of our divisions almost. We've got a lot of guys that are, especially our road crews, that are getting to retirement age, and they're of age. I mean, we've got a lot of youth, but they've got all of our knowledge, and we need to transfer it some kind of way. So, trying to pick up an extra guy or here or there that can learn and kind of fill in. But also that problem is we have double wages that we're paying until that guy retires. So we're walking a tightrope there to make
Well,
sure we stay
that's-
within.
I understand that, but still, yet, and that's why I say it don't have to be a full-time employee.
Right.
It could be 1 day a week,
Well-
2 days a week, or whatever. And basically, when he has those problem days,
Yeah.
is the days that he needs to be there.
I think, in my mind, as we get further into the pug mill, I don't know that them, and I don't know how many guys, 2 or 3 guys we're gonna need to operate that thing. But I don't think that's gonna be full time. And I
No.
think those guys are gonna be able to fill in for a lot of this stuff. And then, if he needs somebody, he can take 1 or 2 guys from there. So I'm thinking those positions, once we get them established, will help out with some of this.
Right.
I would say I wish you would have been here 6 or 7 years ago when we hired him and looked at the situations going on with these dump sites.
Oh.
And see what he has done.
I know what he's done. I'm scared to lose his knowledge, believe me, and his work ethic. So that's what we're trying not to lose. And
Yeah.
if we need to pick up somebody,
And it's the little things that he does that we don't realize even now. We know the big things he does.
right?
We don't know the little things
Right.
that he's doing
Everybody-
that's keeping those things flowing so smooth.
Because, and because nowadays they're changing their systems, the compactors or, different electrical stuff, this and that. The technology has changed. And so he still deals with the old ones and the new ones.
Right.
Let me interject at this point. The new compactors, and most of them are coming up on a year, and I'm gonna turn them up a little. The new compactors, the rating on the old ones are 56,000 max. The new ones are 48. But they seem to be more trouble-free, and at least you don't have to climb in there with the garbage. Just sitting about 2.5, 3 feet from it. But a lot of our problems is they just hadn't been taken care of.
Mhm.
And I'll talk to y'all later and
Okay.
another about getting a regular maintenance schedule, clean, repainted. Because, you know, I can't tell you what's going through those machines, but it'll eat them up. Most of them are 16, 18 years old. Now, we replaced. I'm gonna give you all a copy of that in a little bit.
But whatever's eating them up's the same thing, just like the landfill. We got $20 million worth of equipment out there and some of it's already wore out. It's 5 years old because whatever
Yeah.
it generates eats the bottom, eats the metal up. I mean,
Well-
he's a witness to that right there.
Bill, do we need to, I guess, maybe rename Barry's position as, kind of almost, you're moving him into a supervisory position, and maybe, I don't know what his position is called right now, but is there something, do we need to rename that, do we need to reestablish
Yeah.
compactor supervisor? Okay.
I think
And I don't
that
know
is
if that's what he's
job.
called now, is that what his, that's what he is now, he is the compact
Something.
supervisor.
We're
So,
gonna get you,
no,
we're
you-
gonna get you a badge.
So we're just trying to clarify some of his duties. Okay, okay, I'm with you now.
Okay, but anyway, that's nothing we gonna, I mean, we, just a discussion, get the conversation started, you know.
And let you think on it and
Yeah,
come up with your ideas of who's best, Barry, because you know what all you do. You know the physical end of it, you know the mental end of it. So you gotta find somebody, number one, that can ride with you and learn from you.
there's no other discussion on that, moving on, got a motion by Ramirez,
I'll second it.
second by Barry, to adjourn, all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed. All right, motion carries, thank you, guys.
You said you had something.
Yeah,
you wanted to talk
y'all
to
give me just-
informal.